How many times in life have you been in a place where you are cornered and everything seems to be going wrong around you, and you just think, I actually just don't know how to get out of this. I don't know what I can do to better this situation. I haven't got the answers. And you finally get to the point where you realize that you don't know anything. Like, as a human being, you really don't know a lot. None of us, we don't know what we're doing. We're kind of fumbling through life, and we have this very limited level of consciousness. And often, and I mean, I'm talking about myself here, we arrogantly think that we know what to do. And the problem is that we're actually very powerful. We have this mind that can create whatever reality we want. We can do that. We have that power. Some people would call this like the law of attraction or manifesting. You can think your reality into existence. But the problem with that is that we're pretty stupid. We don't actually know what we need. We know what we want, but we don't know what we need. And so we can bring a reality into existence that we don't actually, isn't useful for us, we shouldn't have it. Or maybe we should have it, but it's not necessarily exactly perfect for us now. And for me, I take that same understanding when it comes to meditating. I go into my meditations and I don't know what the right thing to do is. I don't know what experience is right for me at this moment. I don't know where I need to be. But knowing this, there's a place within us, or we have a connection to that which does know. And this is why I always talk about connecting to a higher energy source, or the divine, or God, or whatever synonym you want to use for this entity. I'm going to call it our higher consciousness, just for a neutral way of describing this thing. But I'm talking about God or the divine, or what word you prefer. This higher consciousness is the only real thing that exists in the entire universe. Everything is made up of this higher consciousness. So imagine that this higher consciousness is just pure energy, and that pure energy has reduced its vibrational rate so much so that it now appears physical. That's what this physical reality is. Everything that exists, my phone, my mic, my camera, my body, it's all a manifestation of this higher consciousness. It's just reduced its vibrational rate massively, and it now appears physical because it's moving so slowly. But what we're trying to do really is to connect to the part of the consciousness, or our consciousness, that is still vibrating at the highest possible rate, and ask that consciousness to help us, to guide us, because we are moving at a rate which is not that yet. And we know that because we're not omnipresent, we're not omniscient. So we aren't aware of anything outside of ourselves. I'm not aware of what's going on in Australia right now. I'm not aware of what my car is doing outside. I'm not aware of what my girlfriend's doing. I am just existing in a limited level of consciousness, and so are all of us as human beings. So we are limited in a way in our day-to-day experience. We're not existing at the high consciousness. So we don't know what's right for us. We have our own thoughts, our own desires, but this is coming from a low place. This is coming from a low level of consciousness. So when I go into meditation, when I sit down to meditate, I connect with you can call it the part of yourself, or you can see it as something separate to you. It doesn't really matter. But I connect to my higher consciousness, and I say, please, can I have guidance? And the way that I actually physically do this is that I'll sit down to meditate. I'll get myself set up with a candle and incense stick, and sometimes I'll put my hand together because it just feels nice to me for me to do that, and other times not. But I will sit down and I will ask for guidance, and I'll ask for help. And I intuitively know, I know that I'm asking really myself, because there's nothing separate, nothing is actually different. Although it all looks different, it's all the same energy. And that means that we are the same energy. I am the same energy. So yes, I am higher consciousness itself. I am that higher energy power itself, but I'm not experiencing myself at that level yet, which is why when I ask as if it is going to assist me, which it does. You'll find that when you sit down to meditate and you go through a process of inwardly, and when I say inwardly, I mean asking in your mind, using that internal voice, that will that you've got, and talking to yourself and saying, please help me on this meditation. Please show me the truth. Please help me to overcome whatever it is for me at the moment that is in the way of me seeing this truth. Please help me to overcome the defects in my character which are obscuring this truth. Please help me to improve. Please help me to go deeper in my meditation. All of these kinds of questions, these are just examples. You can find words and meanings that suit you better. But I will go through a process of internally asking. And I know that I'm directing that these internal questions or affirmations or whatever to that source, to the higher consciousness. And I'm casting it out. And I'm putting basically the reins in that higher consciousness's power, in that higher consciousness hands, because I know that I don't know anything as a human being. I'm limited, but there is an energy out there which is unlimited, which knows everything, which is far, far greater than my 30-year-old intellect. So I'm putting that in charge of where I go and the things that I do and my development, because I know that whether I like the experience or not, whether I get any experiences or not, it's correct for me. It's correct for me at that time that I have whatever comes to me. And it might be that I don't have any experiences for the next 5 years when I start saying that prayer, when I start communicating with the higher power in that way. But that might be because that is absolutely correct for me to not have any experiences. Maybe I need to develop my will. Maybe I need to subdue my ego by doing the mundane tasks for many, many years before something more profound happens. But that is absolutely perfect for my development at that time. And this is just me giving examples. It might be you have a profound experience straight away. But the point is that we don't know as human beings what we really need. We think we do arrogantly, but we don't. And so asking for guidance and communicating with the higher consciousness allows that part of yourself to dictate and determine what experiences you have, where you go in life and what you do. You kind of surrender to that. And in Hinduism and in Hinduism, they would call it like the bhakti path, which is a devotional path. And it's one of really surrendering your ego, surrendering your sense of I and all of your own personal desires and wants and the things you think you need. It's really understanding that you don't know anything. And if you can surrender all of your personal wants and needs and everything and give it over to this higher power and say, I don't know what I'm doing, but I have faith and trust that you do. Please guide me, please help me. It's incredible how your life changes, and it gives you so much purpose, gives your life purpose, because now you understand that there is a goal to life. You understand that there's something that's guiding you and there's something that has your interests at heart, and you know that whatever experience you're now going through, whether it feels like hell or whether it feels like heaven, you know it's right for you at that time, and you can accept whatever's happening to you. And you know what? If I'm totally wrong, if I've got this all wrong, and there is no energy, there is no higher power, and it is purely me, and when I die, that's it, and for you, when you die, that's it. If that is the case, my experience of life has been so incredible, having the placebo effect of thinking that there's a higher power and having courage in every challenge that I've had to face, knowing that I've got this higher power behind me, or thinking I have, knowing that every experience that's come to me, whether it's been good or bad, whether I've perceived it as good or bad, I've taken it, hopefully accepted it, and been knowing inside that it is for the betterment of myself. That in itself makes life so much better. It's made my experience of life so much better. So if the placebo effect of me thinking that there's a higher power means my experience of life is so much better, then it makes sense to me to do it anyway. I mean, I don't think that. I do think I'm correct based on the experiences I've had. I don't think I'm correct. In fact, I'm absolutely certain that I'm correct based on the experiences I've had, but I could never show you those experiences. You have to have them yourself. But this is why I go through this process of connecting to the higher parts of myself and asking for guidance. It starts to subdue the ego, and you give over your finite mind really to this infinite consciousness. So I really hope this video helps you. I hope it gives you some more understanding as to how you can connect to that energy source as well, and how you can develop more of a relationship with that. You don't need to be religious. You don't need to follow any one particular kind of dogma or path. You just go directly within yourself, and you will hopefully feel it. I feel it. And I have no doubt that if you surrender and if you are open enough, you will also feel it. So I hope this helps you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks so much.